I did have silly string. Mr. Flynn kind of made me do that in a way. Look, in all honesty, I'm not that excited that early in the morning. I just fake it for you guys. It's my job. Like, it's what they pay me to do. Oh, throwing shade. All right, so this is kind of poopy because I don't have it in color because I can't print things in color for you. So let's talk about this with the colors up here for a second, and then you can highlight or whatever else to your heart's content. When we go to name angles, there are actually a bunch of different ways that we can do that, but one of the most common ways is we use 3 points to do so. The middle point is always your vertex. So on your notes, if you really quickly want to label, like down here, that this is always the vertex, wherever you want to write that. So angle ABD is the angle from A through B going to D. So this angle where we have the arrow pointed to is angle ABD. Now I could call that angle B. Why do you think I wouldn't call it angle B? Lazy? There's multiple angle B's here. How many? There's actually more than 4. So it looks like there would be 4 angle B's. But guys, we can actually combine smaller angles to get bigger angles. Actually, and this is going to feel real good, I'm about to combine our random cards. Guys, we're cyan now. Anyone know, any art people in here, why I'm saying we're cyan now? Jocelyn, why am I saying that? Equal parts of blue and green, because you can make a lot of different colors with blue and green, but equal parts of blue and green make cyan. We're mixing together blue and green. I know. I'm not funny. It's okay. So, this would be ABD. We could call it angle B, but that's silly because this is also angle B, this is also angle B, this is also angle B. So, if we notate over here, which angle is this angle B if we give it the actual 3-point notation? Well, it starts at, if we start at A, which is nice, A, B, C. Yeah, go ahead and write that one down, please. Ooh, I forgot my angle symbol. Right down here, you'll notice I gave you 3 examples of our angle symbols. They all essentially mean the same thing, except a lot of times the ones with the arcs are talking about size. So if you want to make a little note, a lot of times why we use the arc is to talk about the size of the angle, like how many degrees. Go ahead and label what angle this would be up here and what angle this would be over here. These do not start at A now. So you can use just kind of the angle symbol. I don't like just using the angle symbol because it looks like less than, right? So I like to put the arc through it. Up here, the one that is colored yellow. Huh, funny. Lacey's card is on top. I get to put it on bottom because we already talked. Lily, how could we call this yellow angle? Yeah, DBE. Anyone have a different name than DBE? Could we also start at E? Yeah, so, guys, I'm actually going to, down where it says examples, go here. Angle B. Except we said, okay, we can be better than that. And Lily just said this one is angle D, B, E. But that's the same as angle E, B, D. As long as the vertex is in the middle. You can switch the order of the other points. D, E. Sydney, what is this angle over here on the right, which up on the screen is blue? Yeah, E, B, C. Or, if we flip the order around, anybody, what's the other order? C, B, E. So whatever examples or notes that you want to write, down here in this section, let's just do these three first. I want you to write 2 ways to name the angle. So essentially, like, flip the order around. Because I want you looking from both directions. So for the first one, it's this whole arc. So that angle is what we're looking at. Go ahead and try this on your own. Guys, the one down below that looks like a star, if you end up on that one, I want you to highlight angle DOF. And then we're going to talk about its other name as well. Yeah, we can't use single point notation. Like, I can't say angle A, because that's not specific enough. I should let you guys try this on your own, so I'm going to flip the 5-minute timer. Probably won't wait for the whole thing to get run out. But guys, down in the bottom 2, just so you know what you're doing down here, I want you to highlight the angle they ask about, and then give another name for it. So I want you to find it, and then give the other name for it. You can't just say angle A. There's way too many angle A's. Anyone? I'm giving you more time, I promise. But does anyone want to show without speaking? Anyone want to show what the first angle is? Do you know what I mean, Natalie? Do you know what I'm asking for? No, without speaking. How could we show what the angle is without speaking? It's been a really long time since I did this. Right, I probably got it wrong.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit down.
It's a little bit down?
Yeah.
Don't I have, like, my head down or something? What am I doing? What am I trying to do? Uncool, very uncool, like, I'm dabbing because this angle is angle DAB. Or, we could say Mr. Hudson's attempt at a dab was bad. B-A-D. Ha, ha, ha. Y'all know you're going to miss me. We only have like a month left. Well, really, like until the test. And a week of it is spring break. Miss Allie, you just, oh my gosh, you're like 30 seconds too late. This angle. What? Oh yeah, I forgot I have Uno here. This angle is angle dab, so I did a dab, but then we said my attempt at it was bad, because we can also name this angle bad. So bad or dab. Bad or dab. I'm random carding the other one, so I'm giving you more time. If you need help, please turn to a neighbor and ask. Guys, as long as you keep your masks on, we can talk. You're allowed to talk to each other. I got coffee on my desk. Yeah, I mean, I highlighted the one that we're looking at. Oh, yeah. So highlight the angle it's asking about, then give the other name of it. We're probably going to get through these notes and then into the next set. Guys, a page does not mean like a class worth. It's just what I could fit on a page. I just don't like to give you more than a page at a time. If you get cold, tell me, and I can like point things a different direction. But of course, we got more people in here, so. And I mean, it's a nice day. It's gonna be a nice day. Hot. We're nowhere close to hot yet. Nice. Well, cemetery is kind of interesting, but Isaiah, can you go ahead and tell me one way we can name this angle I have highlighted in blue up here? Yeah, so we'll put our angle symbol, and we'll say DAC. What is the other way we could name that angle, Stella? Yeah, flip it around and do CAD. Same angle. Victor, what about the one I have highlighted in green over here? Yeah, DAE. Or, Charlie, what's another way we could name that? Yeah, EAD. Jocelyn, can you tell me how many arcs my angle DOF has in that, like, kind of star thing? Or, sorry, for DOF. Like, which... So this is like 1 arc, 2 arcs, 3 arcs, and 4 arcs. Yeah, it's the one with 3, right? DOF would be right here. What's another way that we can name it? FOD. So we could also name it FOD. Over here, this is actually going to start to lead us towards an interesting relationship that we'll talk more about on, I forget if it's the back of this paper or the next paper. Andrew, how many arcs does GPB have? Yeah, it also has the 3 arcs, right? Kind of coincidentally over here. Where's my highlighter? So, GPB, GPB. So we draw the connecting. Now wait a minute. Why is it not the big angle on the outside? Well, we normally are talking about the angle under 180 degrees. So even though GPB could, I'm going to use a pencil for this, even though GPB could connect around this way, we're almost always talking about the small angle. So we call those the minor or the major, or I mean sometimes there's other ways to talk about it too. But we're pretty much always talking about the one that is less than 180 degrees. We don't often talk about angles bigger than 180. So take a moment to look at these different angle types. And then we're going to write a quick little definition of what makes the difference. And actually with adjacent, we can pretty much just highlight what makes adjacent angles adjacent. Adjacent angles need to share 2 things. Adjacent angles share same vertex and they share one of their rays. So notice angle 2 and angle 1 both use the same vertex, and they both share this ray. They're like next door neighbors. You have a property line, right? So if any of you have a fence in your backyard, you normally don't have a fence next, like right up against another fence. That's kind of silly. Only one person builds the fence. So if person 1 builds the fence right here, person 2 just uses it, right? It's like, it is the property line. Literally a discussion I had with my neighbor this weekend is who's building the fence to replace this one. Now we're going to jump down to complementary. So come down here with me. Here is one of the things that I hope you remember for a very long time. And when you think about it, you shake your head and just like, oh, Mr. Hudson. If you walked in and I was like, Lacey, I really like the print on your mask. Like, Madeline, your backpack is super cool. Miriam, your pants look like you fought with a lawnmower, but it looks sweet. Like, so if I like start complimenting people, that's like nice, right? To compliment someone is the right thing to do. To compliment someone is the right thing to do. Guys, that's how you make friends and influence people. Complementary angles sum to 90 degrees. So what we actually want to write is sum to 90 degrees. They form a right angle together. So notice I drew the little box down here. Together, they form a right angle. So for example, angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees. Guys, here's another way that we can name angles, with numbers. That's angle 1, that's angle 2, that's angle 3, and put them together, like whatever. You can name them with numbers. You could name them with colors if you really wanted to, like that's the blue angle, that's the green angle, like, sure, but that's normally a little hard, especially if we go to print, like, in black and white. Can anyone make a guess with supplementary? Yeah, they make a flat line, like a straight line. So they would sum to, yeah, they sum to 180 degrees. And you can remember the difference? Because like my buddy Ryan, you take supplements to get bigger. Right? Not like steroids, we're not talking steroids. But if you take supplements, like vitamins, like nutrient supplements, you do that to get bigger, to build muscle, to like even get taller. Like if you drink Pediasure, like that's a supplement. Pediasure is not bad. Now vertical angles, oh sorry, we should write the example of angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180. Guys, it's interesting that when I write something and look up, you aren't writing. Makes me wonder if we're taking notes, and when I walk around the room in like 2 minutes, I might have to tell some people, hey, where is that? Vertical angles, I need you with me here, because we need to color code this. You need at least 2 colors. They're equal to each other. So angle 1 is vertical to angle 2. And angle 3 is vertical to angle 4. There are 2 sets of verticals shown here. So they're equal to each other. And we're going to practice identifying these guys. Don't worry. Angle 1 is equal to angle 2. And angle 3 is equal to angle 4. Now wait, why are vertical angles so special that they're equal to each other? Well, they use the same straight lines as each other and the same vertex So verticals have the same vertex, vertical, they have the same vertex, and both lines. Vertical angles share the same vertex and both of their lines. So as we come down here, the angles that I have arced and marked, right? A, B, A, B, A, B. For each of these images, I want you to tell me if you think they're vertical, complementary, supplementary, or if they're none of those, are they adjacent? Or are they just nothing? Are they just two completely random angles? So I'm going to flip the timer. I'm going to walk around with the next set of notes, and then in 5 minutes we'll do random cards for what is the relationship between these angles. Guys, if you want to talk to each other, talk to each other. Highlight if you want. We're just going to write. You can even abbreviate, like COMP, SUP, SUPP. That's math 8. Oh no, there's math 7. Remember, complementary add to 90, supplementary add to 180. And supplementary at the same time. So that doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, we still need to go over the quiz too. Does it matter what? No. If they're adjacent, it does not matter how big or small they are. Good question. Please do not be overwhelmed with the fact that I'm throwing another worksheet at you. It's also so you have things to reference when you go to practice on Khan Academy, because all of these problems are problems you might encounter when you're doing that practice that I've assigned you. Like, literally, you might encounter the same problems. So when you're doing your Khan, you should have your notes out. You should be looking at these. You should be looking at what you wrote down. You can write on your notes while you're doing your Khan. We take notes so that we use them later. We don't just take them for no reason. I gotta get out that quiz paper to make sure I don't just keep moving and forget about it. And let's random card. Sky, our first set here with A and B in this weird kind of formed triangle thing. Do you know what relationship these are showing? They are vertical, so they're going to be equal to each other, right? Vertical angles, because they're opposite, they're using the same vertex, and they're using the same two lines. Any questions on why those are vertical? They use the same two lines, they use the same vertex, and we can see they're going to be the same size. If I was highlighting there. Awesome. Martin, A and B over here. Yeah, they are complementary because the two of them would be 90 because this is shown to be 90. And guys, we know any straight line, if you don't remember this, you may want to mark it, but any straight line is 180 degrees. So we know on this side it would be 180. Over here is a marked 90, they tell us. So these would be complementary. To complement someone is the right thing to do. Natalie, what about our next one here inside of this square? So let's go up and double check here. Well, first off, what do they add up to? A and B would add up to, what's this little square tell us? 90, so these would add up to 90. So if we go check, supplementary summed at 180. Complement. Yeah, you just switched around the word. So remember, complement is the right thing to do. Supplements are bigger, right? Supplement to get bigger. So this would be complementary again. So we want to label that complementary somewhere. Nate, down here, moving to this crazy weird triangle shape, but now different angles. What are these A, B? They are adjacent. I agree with that because they share the vertex, they share this line. They are adjacent. If I look at both of them together, I think it makes a straight line, right? Both of them together. Anyone want to jump in and help Nate? On top of being adjacent, they're also, just shout it out, supplementary. They would also be supplementary. Our next image that doesn't really make a shape, just a bunch of rays pointing out in different directions. Oh, you don't belong in this stack. You don't belong in this stack either. That's my whole next class. Madeline, what are these A and B? So can we make it all the way around to 180? We cannot because we're missing this angle right here. So if they don't add up to 180, oh yeah, they're just adjacent. They don't make 90, they don't make 180. These are just adjacent. So they don't really have any special relationship. They're just adjacent. They're just next to each other. Amelia, our next one inside this parallelogram. What about these A and B? I 100% can't hear with this machine going. If you want to try a little louder, or Natalie, can you hear? Supplementary. So you're falling into the temptation of if we went all the way to 180, they would be supplementary. But when we look here at angle A, a cute little angle, right? And angle B, they actually won't make it all the way around to 180 because we're missing this gap right here. So A and B are actually just adjacent. So like Madeline on the last one, how these were just adjacent. Don't fall into thinking they have to be some kind of special. But over here, Mia, The arc of A doesn't stop at just one small angle. A actually picks up both of these. And then there's angle B. What relationship do they have? Remember, to complement is the right thing to do. Supplements get bigger. Yeah, this is supplementary, right? This green angle and this purple angle together make a straight angle. So you guys, especially if you have 3 highlighters, you could do this. You could say like green and purple, make the whole arc. So that means that they are supplementary, since together they make the entire big 180-degree arc. Questions on identifying angle pair relationships? Guys, I would keep this out when you're doing your con. I would keep it like on your desk so you can reference over to it. Now the quiz that I gave you when you walked in, that a lot of you probably put away already, really quickly, I'm not putting this in math. So, again, I should say other stuff that like scares you to like get your attention. Because I think when I say I'm not putting this in math, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not going to put this in math because a lot of us got progressings because we fell into trap doors that I think now, because this was like 2 weeks ago, I think now we would avoid those trap doors, but I need you to go through here and write down your corrections really quickly. Guys, don't make me make you turn this in. I don't want to make your week any harder than it is, so I'm not going to put this test into math. I know that, like, we all got progressions. I have your scores written down, so I could still put it in math. I'm not playing games with you. I do not plan to put this in math. But I want you to write down what went wrong. So get this back out if you put it away. Unless you got mixed in with a different stack somehow, but I didn't catch it. Ooh, I maybe had a no name. No, I got nothing. We can talk later, Nate. Just like kind of follow along with us. What's up? Yes. So when we distribute, the negative is what's getting distributed here, guys. So please check your work. If you distributed the negative k in or what, like, we're distributing the negative to make everything in the parentheses the opposite of what it was. 8k becomes positive, 7 becomes negative. We combine like terms and get a positive 7k, a negative 7. Or you could write minus 7, but I don't like subtraction because I have lots of biases. Mathematical biases, that is. Yeah, about addition and subtraction, I got some heavy biases. Now over here, the 3 is what distributes, making a negative 12e and a negative 9. We got to bring the negative 7 with us. So they join forces and make a bigger bad guy. The negative 12e hangs out on his own, throws his own socially distant party. If you want to subtract, I guess it's okay. So if you want to subtract, I guess it's okay. By the way, guys, if there are any issues with where you are seated now, I just pretty much tried to reference where you were seated before. But if you now realize, like, oh man, I really wish I had a seat closer up front or whatever, please just email me or come talk to me. But I know emails are sometimes easier. In our next problem, 2 different ways to solve it. If I divide by 3 first, it comes over here to the right. It's a quicker route, but it's a little dangerous. If we distribute, we get 3x and 12. Take the 12 away from both sides. Divide, which this is a trap door. A lot of us fell in this trap door. This is negative 30 divided by 3. We get negative 10. Inequality problem. Trap door alert. I even gave you the trap door alert. We subtract 35 from both sides. We divide by a negative, flipping around our inequality. 33/4 is also 8.25. Flip into the back. This was a bad problem. I probably wrote this problem poorly. You had to first figure out that between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m., or you had to see 6 hours, right? So that's where the 6 came from. The how many degrees? Well, I tell you, we don't know that. That's where the T comes from. I think some of you got messed up with it's still less than 60. Like last week, we were still in the high temps of less than 60. And we started at 30, right? Now, fortunately, now we're starting a little bit warmer. Yeah, it was like 40 this morning. And number 5 was all you. It was all just you doing your thing. All right, so put that away. You can come see me to talk to me about that if you'd like, but just know that those questions will probably come back very soon. I have no idea what this week actually looks like. I'm not even sure if I have class on Friday. So I'm trying to figure out when we can take our next assessment. Guys, and I'm not joking. I'm not 100% sure what Friday's schedule is. It's going to depend on weather. It's supposed to, but it's going to depend on weather. So we're trying to figure out how to do like an inside cookout. Get out the next set of notes I gave you. We got like 8 minutes. This solving complementary, supplementary, and vertical angles notes. Guys, this is going to give you a really good jump start on your con work. Because these are the exact problems from con. So take a moment and just try to start this. In this first section, I tell you, the angles below make a right angle. That means they are what kind of angle? Are what? Yeah, are complementary. So I should have put the word are here, but they are how do we spell complementary again? P-L-E. They are complementary. They are complementary. Which means they sum to 90. So if you have a calculator, or if you're just trying to push your mental math, guys, we're just doing 90 minus. Right? For all these angles, we are just doing 90 minus. So x here will be 90 minus 29. Which means our x is how? 71? You sure? 61. Be careful to borrow. Degrees. Gotta label it. Make sure you have your degrees. Remember, 90 and 29 are working numbers, but when we get to the answer. Now, in con, they go ahead and have the degree symbol beside the box. You don't have to type it in, but if we're writing it out on a test for me or on a paper for me, you're going to want to have that degree symbol. Victor, what's up? Did I miss you with the notes? I got you. I'll probably put it in there for you for my co-star. In con, it will count because it's already there. In con. I just set one on your desk. Maybe I forgot. So, take a moment, do this math. I'm going to random card. Guys, you can use a calculator. So, like, I'm not trying to make anyone nervous. You can also just do the subtraction. By the way, if you can add to make 100, then just take 10 away from it. Right? Since we're trying to add to make 90. So these together will make 90. If we add up and make 100, then take 10 away from it. So to make 100, this would be 47, but then we can take 10 away from that. Miriam, how big is X in the middle here? 37 degrees. Lacey, what about the X over here off to the side? That's all good. I'm going to work it out loud then. From the 6, I know I'm going to end in a 4, right? That takes me up to 80. So it's going to be 14 because I need 10 more. Lily, remind us, when two angles make a straight angle, what do we call that? Yeah, they are supplementary. Go ahead and try those on your own. That is probably where we will pick up tomorrow. That does not mean pack up your stuff and keep working while I bring around one. Well, she's using a calculator. So you just got to remember to borrow. Hey, you need a pencil. I got a pencil. But they do math with a pen.